protect y'all. May God bless and protect y'all. And today we are going to talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness is something that I have had to work on doing for other people and also for myself. I first want to talk about how I have been forgiving other people. I think that forgiveness for everybody is completely different. My version of forgiveness is going to look completely different than your version of forgiveness. And the way that you process forgiving others is going to look different than the way that I process things. But this is how I've been doing it. So first, I like to acknowledge what the person did to me, what they did that hurt me, and I think about why I allowed a certain emotion to take place in me. And then I try to find the root causes of why I allowed whatever that person did to me to create a certain type of emotion in myself. So once I get there, I give myself time with certain people. If they're people who I am very, very close to, sometimes I tend to forgive them faster. But also I think too, when it's someone that's very close to me that has hurt me in a way that is unlike other people that I don't have such a connection with, I still want to address it as quickly as possible, but it might take me some time to go through the emotions that that person has caused me and then allow myself to fully forgive that person. And also, when the person is close to me who has done some hurt to me or who has caused me pain, I want to talk to them about it. I want to know their reasoning for causing the pain, and also address if it's something that I might have done that has made them retaliate and act a certain way to me. And that's how I forgive individuals who I'm close to who have caused me pain. And then for people who I don't share too much with, for people that I'm not like really connected with, I either, it's kind of not the best, but I'll either like forgive them fairly quickly, keep my guard up, and just understand that like now I have this wall between me and that person. It might not be that big, but I'll remember the thing that they did to me, and I'll also do that, or I'm just like, you know what, I don't really want to continue being friends with you, or I don't want to continue having this type of connection or relationship with you, so I'm just gonna like cut it off and wish you the best, but I'm gonna do me. And I hope that whatever you're doing it well, and that you're doing it and that you're learning from whatever you're going through in your life. And that's how I've been dealing with the forgiveness aspect of when people ask me for forgiveness. But then also in that, I have to learn too how to ask for forgiveness. Asking for forgiveness, I think with whoever it is, also it's different for everybody. When I ask for forgiveness, I try to meet with that person. I try to like reach out to that person and talk to that person and be like, hey, well, like I know that I messed up, or if I don't know if I've done anything wrong and I can see that this person is acting a way towards me that isn't like the way they used to act, and I know that I must have done something because that person isn't acting how they usually would, then I will ask the person too, like, hey, is there some type of issue here? Like, did I do something? Was there something I said or something that I did that made you annoyed or caused you any pain? And when I do that, and they do let me know, hey, like, yeah, you did this really messed up thing, or like you said something that I didn't really like, or like you just acted in a way that I wasn't comfortable with, or in a way that I don't agree with. Then I try to acknowledge that, and then I also try to voice my opinion, because maybe I said something that I totally agree with, or maybe I acted in a way that I usually act. And then if I see that I did something or said something in a way that I feel like is something that I normally do, then I stop and I think to myself, like, is it okay that I did that thing that I normally do? Or is it something that I need to change? Is it something that maybe other people have felt a certain way about but haven't ever vocalized this to me? And then if it's something that then I find that I should probably change, then I'll talk to that person and I'll try to change. But if it's also something that is like me, something that I'm like, yo, this is something I always do, and this is the way that I feel about this thing, like, I'm not gonna change it, then I won't change it. But I also will be more aware that that's something that this individual doesn't like. And then also, I would say, I don't try to go around like offending people. I don't try to go around like hurting people or anything like that. But like everybody, right? Like, we all do things that people don't like. But I'd also say too, like, when someone has caused me a hurt, I don't do this all the time, but sometimes I'll do something that I know is going to hurt that individual too. And that's my bad trait. That's something that I'm working on. But when I have done that, and I know that what I've done has hurt this person, because that's kind of what I wanted to happen, I will, when I ask for forgiveness, I'll just straight up say, I'm sorry for what I did. And I also don't try to like pin it on that person, like, well, I did this because you did that to me, because I take accountability for my bad behavior. I can't blame someone else for making me do something. And I think that's something that I've had to learn too, because when I was younger, that's kind of how I used to ask for forgiveness. Because I'd be like, well, I only did this because you did this to me, or I acted this way because you did that thing to me. And that's not genuine. That's not a real way to ask somebody for an apology. That's just, like, still making the blame on that other person, and then you not taking any like blame for yourself. You have to know that maybe you did act a way because someone hurt you, but you also have to know that you acted that way because you wanted to act that way. So when I ask for someone else for forgiveness, I will say that I'm sorry, and I'll also change the way that I act. If I know that what I did hurt somebody because that's the reaction that I wanted, and if I'm really actually sorry, then I'll change that. I will ask the person too, like, what are ways that I can change? What are ways that I can help? What are ways that I can do better? Because I don't want to continue to hurt you. I don't want to continue to live in a cycle of hurt. And I'd say that so many people that I have asked forgiveness for have been reciprocal and have been like, yeah, like, I love you, and you might have hurt me, but let's work on this together. Or like, it doesn't even have to be together. Like, this is what you did. I'm going to tell you what you did, and I want you to do better. And then also, there are people that I have hurt that I don't speak to anymore because they don't want to speak to me. And I also have to respect that. I respect the fact that sometimes the things that I have done to cause pain to people have made those people never want to speak to me again. And that's also a part of the journey of forgiveness too, is learning that sometimes your actions make people not like you anymore and not want to associate with you anymore. And that's something that you're going to have to take as a teaching, right? You have to allow these moments to teach you how to not act those ways going forward. And for people who have caused me a pain that I don't speak to, those people, before I stop talking to them, I let them know what they did to hurt me. And there are people who have hurt me that I know, like, these people are going to change and these people are going to do better. So I will continue to, like, talk to them. But there are some people that I know, or I can't say that I know, because everybody can change. You know, like, everybody can change. I've changed. I'm definitely not the person that I used to be. By the grace of God, I'm not that person anymore. And I'm working on myself as the days go by, you know. But there are certain people that I know that if I continue to communicate with, or if I continue to be around, it's going to be painful for both of us. So for those people who have caused me pain, and when I forgive them, I let them know, hey, this is what you did that hurt me. These are the things that you did that I just can't allow anyone to continue to do to me, or to start doing to me. So I let someone know before I'm like, all right, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't be your friend, or I can't, like, continue to speak to you. Like, I just have to allow it to be where it's at. And, you know, if it's someone who is receptive, I'll let them know, like, hey, these are the things that you do. Maybe you should improve, or maybe you should work on these things. But I know too that sometimes people don't want to hear that, and I also don't want to feel like I have to tell somebody how to work on themselves. But when I know that I'm not going to continue to talk to someone, I for sure let them know, like, hey, I just want to wish you, you know, I pray that everything goes good for you, but I just know that if we continue doing this, it's just not going to be good for either of us. And I also just kind of had to get to this place, because I had to realize that a lot of the things that I did in my past to people kept me from going to where I needed to be in myself right now. And also a lot of the things that people did to me, I would think a lot about, and I would also think about, like, why did this person do this? Like, or if they never asked me for, if they never said sorry to me too, like, I sometimes thought about that, and I'm like, oh, like, I wonder why they did this to me, or like, they probably did this because this happened, or whatever. And then I had to get to this point in my life too, where I'm like, there are some things that people do that I am never going to have an answer for. And they're never going to give me an answer for why they did those things. And that's just something that I'm going to have to be okay with. And something that I'm going to have to know that it's okay that they acted that way. And even if their behavior wasn't okay, I have to in myself be like, I can't continue to try and, like, come up with all these ideas as to why they treated me this way, or why they did these things to me. I just have to be like, you know what? You did that, and that's all good. Even if it wasn't all good. Like, it's all good, because I can't keep on replaying those situations in my mind. I have to just pray about it, and, you know, pray that God allows me to provide that person with love, and provide that person with goodness, even if I don't speak to that person anymore. And just, I pray that God allows me to just move on from those situations. And I also learned too that with people that I don't speak to, or people that don't speak to me, that maybe we never got to really say sorry to each other, we never got to like speak again, or if I know that talking to them is going to like bring up a lot of trauma for both of us, I'll forgive them in here. I'll forgive them in myself. I will either write it down or I'll just think about it. I'll think about my asking. I'll think about if I were to speak to that person, if I were to see that person again, well, what are the words that I would say to them? What are the things that I would tell them? What are the things that made me act this way? And just ask them for forgiveness. Even if I don't ever see them and if I never talk to them again, that's what I had to do in order to allow myself to just feel as if we have had some type of forgiveness. And also for people who have hurt me that, again, I don't speak to, I will think about as if they had asked me to forgive them. And I'll think about that, and I will just, think like, all right, this person said sorry to me. Even if they never, ever in reality said sorry to me, I'll just be like, you know what? I'm not going to talk to that person anymore anyways, so I'm just going to live my life as if that person had said sorry. I'm going to think about what that actually does for me, to hear that, to think about that person saying sorry, and then keep it going. Not live in that mentality anymore. Not live in that like what if. Just be like, you know what? It's all good. And there are these verses too that helped me a lot, because again, I had to. This has been a process for me. It's been a process to really learn how to forgive. And there is one like story, and it's this master. He is owed a debt from one of his servants, and the servant is like, "Master, please, like, don't murder me. Like, I know that I owe you, let's say it's like $7,700,000. And the master is like, all right, because you're here and you're asking me to forgive you, I'll forgive you, but just try to like make the money up, but like it's okay if you don't pay me back. I forgive you." So that servant doesn't have to repay the master. But then servant one also has a servant, and this servant is asking servant one to forgive him of his debt, and this other servant is asking servant one, like, please forgive me, like I'll pay you back, like please. And servant one tells the other servant, like, no, you owe me this money, like you have to pay me back now, because you can't pay me back, I'm gonna put you in jail. And then so the other servant is put in jail, and then the master finds out about this, and the master goes up to servant one and is like, I forgave you when you owed me so much more money. You owed me like $7,700,000, and and your servant, this other servant, doesn't even owe you that much, and you won't forgive them. And then the master tells servant one, like, because you didn't forgive, I'm gonna punish you. And that story is a story that Jesus said. It's one of his parables. And then he says that's like God is that same way, where if we ask God for forgiveness for the things that we've done, we also have to forgive other people when they've wronged us. And I really like that, because I've asked God for forgiveness for so many things, for things that I can't even describe the number of times I've asked for forgiveness, and for the things that I've asked forgiveness for. And I've had to really think about how, if God has forgiven me, I have to forgive others. And there's another one too, where like these people, these people, one of the disciples asked Jesus, he says, Jesus, how many times should I forgive someone in a day? 7 times? And then Jesus says, no. If someone asks you forgiveness 70 times, forgive them 70 times, 7 times in a day. So, saying like, if someone asks for your forgiveness, give it to them. Don't even like hesitate to provide that forgiveness. And I also think that we have to also understand too that we can't allow people to continue to hurt us though. Yes, forgive people. Yes, if someone asks you to be forgiven, forgive them. But you also have to not allow that person to continue to hurt you. If what that person does doesn't change, and if that person continues to make you feel bad about yourself, or physically hurts you, or emotionally hurts you, or mentally does damage to you, you also have to know in yourself, like, I can't allow this person to continue to do this to me. Like, I can forgive you, but I don't have to keep this going. And that's something I had to learn too. You can love people, but you don't have to love people and have them be right next to you. You can love people and they can be all the way wherever they are, and I can be where I'm at. I don't have to continue to communicate with you, but I can send you love right from where I'm at. And that's a big thing too. Once you get to that level, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful when you find yourself in a place where you can forgive someone who has hurt you, send them love, send them goodness, but also know that it is better that the communication doesn't continue. And yeah, I found a lot of these other different verses too about forgiveness. Like, there's some that talk about God being graceful, and if God shows you grace, you have to give grace to others. And I think about that a lot too, because like, that's like one of the things about being a Christian is about trying to provide love, but also knowing that there are people that are going to hurt you. There are people like who can be your best friends who are going to hurt you. That's literally what happened to Jesus. Like, his best friend, one of his disciples, was the person who allowed him to be turned in to get crucified. And Jesus still loved that person. And that is love that I think about so much. I'm like, you love somebody who you knew was going to have you be so harmed, but also you knew that was a part of what needed to happen. And again, I'm not saying like, if someone's gonna hurt you, keep on talking to them, but that love that Jesus had for someone, and knowing that what they were gonna do, and knowing that they were gonna harm him and cause him so much pain, but still love them, that's love that I look for. And that's love that we're supposed to have as Christians. Is love that doesn't have judgment, love that is provided for anybody. And yeah, there's other verses that I wanted to find too, like there was one talking about like steady fast love, and like, if you have steady fast love, you'll be gracious. But if you're quick to anger, people will see that anger. And I feel like I've had to ask forgiveness a lot because of my anger and because of my reactions to things, is why I've had to ask forgiveness. And also, like, me just like doing really dumb things without thinking about it. That's also been a really big thing that I've had to work on, is like me just being like, I don't care what anyone else feels. Like, this is what I want to do, so I'm going to do it. And that is not good at all. Having that mentality is not good. Thinking that way is not good. And thinking that way just really can damage a lot of relationships that you have. This one, there's just so many that I'm reading right now. I'm sorry, that I didn't have them all like pulled up before, but yeah, there's a lot of verses about forgiveness, and that's the biggest thing that we're called to do, is to forgive and to love. And I just wanted to share that all with all of you, is that know that that forgiveness isn't linear, and forgiveness is not the same for everybody. And I also just wanted to say, sometimes you gotta forgive you too. Like, sometimes you might be hurting more than maybe the pain that you caused someone else. And sometimes also we beat ourselves up for things that we've done in the past. I know for me, like I went through a time in my life where I really just thought so much about all these things that I used to do, and like how had I not done all these things, like maybe I wouldn't be in the positions that I'm in, or like stuff like that. And I had to learn, like, I have to forgive myself. I have to forgive myself. I have to forgive the way that I used to act towards myself too. I had to learn that the forgiveness that I was giving, I also had to give to myself. And that's something that I would say all of you should try to do too. Learn to forgive yourself too. And also know that, like, had you not made some of those bad decisions, or had you not made mistakes, maybe those things wouldn't have taught you what they taught you. And don't continuously live in those mistakes either. If you know what you're doing is wrong, learn how to move forward. Learn how to become better. Learn how your actions affect you and affect others. And just know too, this process isn't going to look the same for everybody. But what's important is that you begin the process, that you begin the act of forgiving. And again, there's so many verses. Like, I would love to share them all. And this one says, like, I give you a new commandment, that you love one another just as I have loved you. You are also to love one another. So loving, again, we have to remember, loving comes sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes loving comes with forgiveness. And you have been saved by grace through faith, and this is not on your own doing. It is a gift of God. And I agree with that 100%. Had I not accepted God into my life, had I not accepted Christ, had I not learned from the model of love, which is Jesus, then I don't know if I would have freely been able to forgive people in the way that I have, and also freely been able to forgive myself in the way that I have. And this one says, repay no evil with evil, but give through to do what is honorable in the sight of all. So just, don't. There's another verse here where Jesus says, like, don't repay. And then you have heard it said an eye for an eye, but surely I tell you that you ought to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. For the sun goes up for those who do good and bad, and God makes the rain come down on the just and unjust. And you should do the same as your Father in heaven. So love one another as your Father in heaven has loved you, so that you can be perfect just as your Father in heaven. And I love that because that's like, God saying like that God doesn't judge, right? Like Jesus is saying God's not judging anybody. God makes good things happen to everybody when those things are supposed to happen. But also, like, we shouldn't judge anybody, and if someone has caused us pain, like, we have to learn to love those people. And also, sometimes that's what they need. Sometimes the people that are out here causing a lot of the pain in the world is because they need someone to love them. So just try to learn to love on them. And I wanted to share these verses too. And this one is Jesus is in the desert and Jesus is hungry. Jesus sees a fig tree, goes up to the tree, sees it has no fruit, and Jesus points to the tree, says, "May you no longer grow fruit." The fig tree shrivels up. Jesus' disciples are marveled. They say, "Jesus, how'd you do that?" Jesus says, "Truly I say to you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you can do more than what has been done to the tree. Even if you point to this mountain and say, 'Get up, move into the ocean,' it will happen." Then Jesus says, "Whatever you ask for in prayer, you shall receive. If you have undoubted faith, God will provide. Have faith that whatever you ask for, God will give you. And if God doesn't, there's a reason." In the tree are the negative things that don't give you fruits in life, like all bad relationships, or lack of forgiveness, or insecurity, whatever doesn't let you grow. Tell that negativity with the help of God. With the help of God, tell that negativity to shrivel into positivity. Nourish the positive and allow that positive to grow. In the mountain, Jesus moved to our mountains. Whatever we're like, God, I don't know, God, this is something that I've held on to. Or God, this is something that I don't know if I'm capable of actually removing myself from. Or God, I don't know, I don't know. This is something that is completely out of reach for me. Or God, this is something that I don't know if I could ever get through this. Or God, I don't know, this is something that I just can't. Or God, this is the person that I'm unable to forgive. God and Jesus make impossible possible. And whatever your mountain, the help of God and Jesus, you can tell your mountains to get up and to get out. And all I wanted to say again is, don't only forgive others, learn to forgive yourself. And also, that love that you try to find, just know that you can find that love in God, and that God is always going to forgive you for all of your sins. We just have to learn that we have to know when to change our actions and when to improve in ourselves. That God is always there. God is going to be there to forgive you. In that forgiveness that comes from God, I pray that it creates a newness in you, that it creates sanctity, that it purifies you, and also that it allows you to know that you must also forgive others. Don't allow people to continue to hurt you. Don't allow people to continue to make you feel bad about you. But also, you can forgive those people too. You can give those people love. You can learn to forgive. And you can learn that sometimes people just need that extra love. Sometimes people just need that extra love, and to know too that the actions that they're doing aren't right. And if I've ever done anything to any of you out of pain, or if I've ever done anything to any of you that has caused any of you pain, that has made any of you feel uncomfortable, that I've done something that any of you don't like, I ask for forgiveness. And in the same way, if any of you have ever done anything to me, just know that I forgive you. And may God bless and protect each of you. And may the love of God fill all of you. And always know that if we forgive others, God will forgive us. Forgive us of our offenses as we forgive those who offend us. So just know that you can go to God for whatever, and that you can ask God for forgiveness for anything, God will always, always give that forgiveness and that love to you. May God bless and protect you. May the blood of Christ Yeshua cleanse you. May God always, always bless you. God bless.